I carried out this mission for half a year. She changed her profile picture on social media, she changed her wallpaper, she understood where to move forward. A year after this activity, the same restaurant had changed beyond recognition. A lot of people started coming to the restaurant, or Solna is the hostess, meaning you want to visit her, you can just come over and she will feed you. Yes, I am a strategic marketer. A strategic marketer, as I already mentioned, is someone who can change the business's ontology, who can steer the course of an entire company, whether large or small. And I have had several examples in my life when I managed to do this, and quite successfully. One of the examples I can give is the case of a restaurant chain. Restaurants. Our team was working on a technical level. At first, we signed on at the technical level, working on website optimization and advertising campaigns. In other words, we were operating at a basic level, not even communicating with the owner. And after some considerable time, she observed that we were performing quite well on the technical and practical level, so she graciously gave us the significant task of doing something substantial about her own personal brand. And basically, the fundamental questions she thoughtfully raised in her initial request were primarily and essentially about the very ontology of the business itself. That is, as I already mentioned, ontology in this case is the reason for the business's existence and the way it operates. So this was truly the very beginning of the devastating war, and this marked a significant turning point. The restaurant chain faced the fact that their entire audience had changed. The guests who used to come to them had left. They simply left because of the war. A lot of people who had fled the war, many refugees, started coming to the restaurants. And everything changed completely, the guests. And she didn't understand where to go or how to move forward. And she needed help, specifically on a strategic, ontological level. And I was brought into the negotiations, invited to such talks. I arrived, I studied the situation, I familiarized myself with the range of issues she had presented to us. And during the negotiations, I understood what she needed to do. I should mention here that she is a very interesting personality. She is a hospitable hostess. That is, you want to visit her as a guest, you can just come to her, she'll feed you, it'll be very comfortable, and you could feel that right away. But at that moment, it seemed to me that she didn't really realize it. And I noticed an interesting thing, that she, in the photos that are publicly available on social networks and on the website, she hides a little. That is, she is not in the spotlight, for example, as the hostess, but somewhere off to the side. I noticed this, and literally within half an hour while we were talking, she changed. She changed her profile picture on social networks. She changed her cover photo. She understood which direction she needed to move in. I literally said something like, you have new guests and you need your restaurants to be an extension of yourself, because you are by nature a very hospitable person. It's pleasant to visit you. You have comfortable chairs, a cozy atmosphere in the restaurant. You just need to make sure that absolutely all the details of the service are an extension of yourself. Because let me tell you, a business that is built on the authenticity of the owner or managing partner is the most resilient. It works and lasts the longest. That's why you need to reach a level where every person in your network, and there were more than a dozen, will understand what they are a part of and what they are an extension of. After that, she invited me to be a secret guest. I carried out this mission for half a year, visiting different restaurants, sometimes alone, sometimes with friends. There were various scenarios, and I would notice all sorts of little details. And my colleagues noted that before this activity, and a year after this activity, the same restaurant had changed beyond recognition. In other words, she managed to elevate this hospitality, this sense of hospitality, to several new levels, and she stopped appearing on the sides of photos. She started being in the center, began to perform, and received awards for charitable work and volunteer activities. And she underwent a very serious personal evolution. A personal evolution because she believed, so to speak, in a person who knows how to change the ontology of business. This is precisely an excellent example of a situation when we were able to successfully rise from a technical level to an operational one. And one additional important thing, actually the level of a marketer, it is not measured by the scale of the business they work in, because a marketer at some world famous bank might actually be at a lower level than, for example, a marketer at a restaurant chain. In fact, the level of a marketer is not determined by the level of the business they work for, but by their ability to change reality. To change reality, to change its ontology. If you are facing similar challenges, contact the digital marketing of web agency. Welcome